I lost you at number 10, so it worked out good. That was the top 10 list. These are the rest of the horses, so we're going to go through 25 horses that are stakes, raced, placed, or victors. Again, this year, we're going to go through horses that are close to the races. Then we're going to go through the turnout horses quickly and run through why we turned them out, what we're going to do with them, and when they'll be back. So, Amy just scolded me.
I did not.
She scolded me, she did. She scolded me for taking 33 minutes, so this phone will only record for 32 minutes and then it stops recording. And then you have to start again. I didn't notice it was getting there. It took me 32 minutes to get through 10 horses. And because of that, Amy scolded me. She called me a windbag or something. Anyway, number 11. Negative. Number 11, Stonebridge Simba. Now, Stonebridge Simba raced unbelievably. Now, this is how good the top 10 list was. Stonebridge Simba finished second in 157 in his first Sire Stakes race in Meadows, and he's coming in at number 11. Stonebridge Simba got away third. I came first over with him and finished second, beat maybe 2 lengths in 57. And as I said to Andrew after the race, you know, take nothing away from this colt. That's the first time he's ever gone fast in his life, ever. So he's only going to get better, and he was very, very good, very effective at the Meadows on Tuesday. So Stonebridge Simba, no shock surprise here, shouldn't be for you. Just a really, really nice colt, and proved it his first time in the U.S. Number 12, Time Al Houdini. Here's another horse, second in the gold the other night, comes in at number 12. Here's a colt that they moved 2 or 3 times in the mile in the mud, his first lifetime start, and he finished second, beat a head, a neck, a nose, a whisker, something like that, in 159 in the mud. Just a nice horse, and I had told Mike Saftig before, I had called him the day before the race, and I said, listen, if you drive this colt aggressively, I think you'll be happily surprised with what you see. I know both him and James said, he felt okay in the qualifiers. He's lazy, you gotta stir him up. You get him stirred up and get his game face on, he's a good horse, and he's sitting on a big mile, this colt right here, and I think it's going to come next Sunday at Georgian Downs. So that's Time Al Houdini. What about Time Al Tulo? 2 seconds, 3 seconds in a row now for Time Al Tulo. Second at 59 in the mud. I think in my earlier video I said he won once, but he didn't. 3 seconds, and has looked tremendous, all 3. And the explosion forward of this colt has been nothing short of tremendous. You know, second in 2.5 his first start at Grand River, then roughed up second in 2.3, and then used hard, put on the front, let one go, sat in the 2-hole, come back on down the lane, charging at the wire in 159 in the mud. Just a good looking colt, and very, very happy with what I've seen from Time Al Tulo. Hard 8th. She already got a victory in the grassroots. Was third out of the 8-hole at Grand River the other day. Crossed them all, crossed her over to the front. Crossed her. Why didn't you tell me 5 minutes ago, guys? You have to hold it for a minute. Crossed her over to the front out of the 8-hole. James did get parked 3 wide around the first turn to do it, though. Ended up in the 2-hole and ended up racing really, really well. So hard 8, just a really nice filly, improving how nice she is and improving weekly. Very happy with hard 8. Dance Hall Babe, filly that I had touted as high as number 1 earlier, and I believe she'll get back up onto our top 10 list. Now she's got some big shoes to fill. You're talking about dethroning White Tiger, See You in Tuscany, Swanray the Giant, those types of horses. But I believe this is a gold filly. I believe she's going to do very, very good things in Ontario and maybe outside Ontario, both this year and in the future. I think this is a good filly, and I have all the faith in the world in her. Just the racetrack itself, the surface, really caused her to make a break the other day. Had she not made that break, I think she was heading to the winner's circle. I could be wrong, but time will tell how good she'll be. Number 15 is Dance Hall Babe. 16, War We Ultra. I guess a little unfair to Ultra. She beat Dance Hall Babe the other day. Stayed trotted in 59. So I guess that's a little unfair. Maybe there's a little bias going on because I own a significant chunk of Dance Hall Babe, and I think very highly of both those fillies. In my mind, putting them together, I think Dance Hall Babe's just got a slight edge, but she's got to prove it first, so I guess that's a little unfair. But War We Ultra raced tremendous the other day on a really bad track. She comes in at number 16. Number 17, Buckingham. Another filly won her first lifetime start in 156, her first lifetime stake in 156. This filly's already proven she's stake caliber. She wants to do her work. Very tenacious, strong filly. So easily makes the list. A little shocked she's at 17, but as I said, we're having a pretty good year. So number 17, Buckingham. Yeah, she was sick the other day. We had to scratch her the other day. She had the 8-hole Grand River. She had a lot of mucus in her nose, and her blood came back a little skewed. So we opted to scratch her. So that's number 17, Buckingham. Number 18. Here's a mistake I did make this week. Final Answer. I got away 6th with Final Answer. He was trotting well. They got over the half in 57, which is a pretty fast half for these trotters on a 5/8 even. And they looked a little soft up front. I noticed the earplugs were out on the horse on the front. The horse on the front, the 2-hole were the favorites. They're both kind of picking at their horses a little bit. So I moved them over, and the 3 and 4 are waiting there. You know, 4 is trying to flush the horse in the 3-hole out. He doesn't want to commit first over. The guy in the 3-hole doesn't really want to move just yet. So I'm coming with a full head of steam. Rather than just come slow, let them out in front of me, follow cover, and see what happens down the lane, I came 100 with him. And I was shoved 3 deep down the backstretch, and he just put a step in and made a little bit of a break. So it was a little frustrating, but I got to blame myself. Had I just followed cover, much like I did with White Tiger, I'm no worse than 3rd. Maybe I win. I don't know. But Final Answer is an impressive colt. I have all the faith in the world in this colt, and I think he's going to do very good things in Pennsylvania this year. Number 19, Linnea. It's a filly we all had very high hopes for. She won her first lifetime start in 155, then come up sick in her second start. She's racing Sunday night. Oliver, turn it down, buddy. She's racing in Georgian Downs on Sunday night, so we'll see what happens. It's a maiden field. She got the 6-hole in a 6-horse field. Probably going to get away 6th and sit and wait with her, but we'll see. Number 19 is Linnea. Slid down the list a bit, but still a very bright future in this filly. Lots of speed and lots to offer. Number 20, Sunshine Inn. Similar situation to this filly. Beat a nose in her first lifetime start in 158 at Georgian Downs. Then raced in the grassroots the other day. A little flat, a little sick, much like Linnea was. Again, much like Linnea, I believe this filly's got an extremely bright future ahead of her. Also, number 21, Screaming Hawk. There's a horse that was 4 or 5 to 1 in the gold the other day. Just made a very, for him, recently an uncharacteristic break. I think we can sort that out and fix that. He'll be back in to go next Sunday at Georgian Downs in the gold again. I believe this is a gold colt, and until he proves that he is not, that's where he's going. And I just don't think you're going to see that, because he wants to do his work. He's fast, he's smart, he's tenacious. He's what you want to see out of a horse. So for me, I think you'll see Screaming Hawk do very good things. Like I said to a couple of the other horses, very good things in Ontario this year. I think he belongs in the gold. I think he's a gold colt, and he's shown me a lot and come a long way. Really like Screaming Hawk. And he comes in at number 21. 22, Hold and Steady. Won his first stake race in Ohio. Finished 4th the other day, but I believe paced his last half 56, last quarter 27. He's in to go tonight or tomorrow night in Illinois. Really like to see this colt continue to be raced from off the pace and closing on the end of it. He's got a very bright future ahead of him. This is a colt that's exceptionally large for his 2-year-old season and has already made just under 20,000, I believe, so far in Illinois. 23, Bay Jewel. Made a little change with Bay Jewel this week. I sent this horse down to Ricky and Jamie McCumber. They did a great job with her, but she made a breaker last start. She made a little breaker last start, and I had talked to Jamie about it. She was going to make some changes in her equipment, and then she said that Ricky had a horse to drive, Ron Burks, in that division. As a driver, I know what she was saying. She was saying, hey, I don't think Bay Jewel can beat Ron Burks' horse, and I don't want to cost Ricky drives, because Ricky and her are married. He has to drive her horses first. She didn't want Ricky to not be able to drive Ron Burks' horse because she had Bay Jewel in there. So I simply moved the filly. Brandon Bates took over the training duties. This is the same Brandon Bates that is campaigning Swandre the Giant and doing a great job with him. So I contacted Mr. Bates on the weekend, and he went and picked her up. She is racing her first start for Brandon Bates on Tuesday, and then hopefully after that we'll be able to see the Bay Jewel that I thought was heading down to Indiana, the one that I haven't seen just yet. So she's in at number 23. Number 24, Springbridge Proud, is going to be making his first start for Ron Burke. Guys, first start for Ron Burke on Adios Day. Saturday, Adios Day. Springbridge Proud. Buddy, what do you need? Stop. Springbridge Proud is going to be making his first stake. I don't know if it is a stake. Is it? Tomorrow. No, today. Saturday's today? That's embarrassing. I don't even know what day it is. Today. So 2 days ago for you, Springbridge Proud is going to be racing on Adios Day. Stake Day. Your birthday, Oliver. That's right. So I'm a little embarrassed to say I don't know whether it's a stake race or an overnight. I'm assuming they're not going to race straight maidens on Adios Day, so I'm going to assume it's a stake race of some sort. So Springbridge Proud is going to be making his first start for the Ron Burke stable, the Burke PA Stallion Series, the Burke Brigade, as they called them. And he comes in at number 24. Number 25, Cruising with Angus. We talked about him earlier. Just a victim of circumstances for us. Just been bad luck. He colicked a little bit his first start, and we were forced to scratch him. Then he came up sick in his next start, and his first stake race, and we were forced to scratch him again. So he'll have to qualify on Tuesday. Very unfortunate, but he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. We will have him in to qualify on Tuesday morning. Friggin' Biggin. He was in at 26. Finished third in his first gold. Ohio Sire Stakes in Ohio, obviously. And then his second start was a maiden down there. He finished 5th. He finished 6th last night. A little flatter than I'd like to see him. Still stakes caliber colt and a nice colt. Just going to have to do a little work on him and get him back on the straight and narrow. Oh, I'm tired. Get him back on the straight and narrow. Curious Winner was impressive the other day. I drove him a little more. I kept him out of trouble, but by trying to keep him out of trouble, I put him in trouble, if that makes any sense. I got away third where I could have got away second if I had pushed him into the first turn. When getting away third, it put me in a position to be first over. I didn't want to double him up and have him break, so I came first over with him. I collared the leader in the last turn, and he just got a little tired down the lane. He hadn't done a fast mile in 2 weeks since he'd been down there. And I don't know how healthy he was. He might have been a little bit sick. So he finished a kind of a deflated 5th, but if I had put him in a better position, he would have been a first or second for sure. So really, really happy with Curious Winner. And he didn't kick. He stopped kicking. That's great. Number 28, Majesty Boy. He finished 6th in that race where I was 5th. Josh Sutton drove him and unfortunately got away poorly from the gate. He had the trailing position and said that Majesty Boy was not interested to race in the entire mile. So he kind of gapped the gate a little bit, missed the gate, and then he got him in gear and got him a little wound up, and it was just too little too late. He ended up right behind me. I assume he was 6th, maybe 7th. Candy Mac didn't race good the other day. A little unfortunate. I was a little disappointed in what I saw from Candy Mac. I expect more out of this colt. I thought what I saw this first start was a very tenacious, tough little horse, and which turned into a horse that didn't want to race the other day. So he's another horse scoped a little questionable, maybe a little sick. We'll draw his blood and see what it says and get to the bottom of that on Monday. Number 30, Too Far Gone. Too Far Gone was a little bit lame her first start. We were trying to figure out what was wrong with her and what was wrong with her. I jogged her on Thursday I jogged her. We pulled the shoes off her, and I think she had a couple of nails that were a little close. So in the hoof, when you pare the hoof out, if you look, there's what's called a white line, and it's quite literally a white line. It would be like the quick in your finger. You know, if you cut your nails too short, that area that can bleed or get sore, that would be akin to the white line in a horse's foot. And you can only imagine how uncomfortable that is to put a nail up close to that. And I think she had 2 of them that were a little too close to comfort. If I'm not mistaken, that was the culprit with her. So she missed about 10 days while they were trying to figure out what was wrong with her. She's going to be in next Saturday in the fair race at Northfield. So they have the fairs go for decent money in Ohio, and the fair races are being held at Northfield Park next Saturday. So she'll be in the fair races next Saturday. The Big Angel filly is out in Illinois, and she actually bled trickle in her last start. Not an Angel did, and Angie has to put her on Lasix. Not something you want to do is start dumping 2-year-olds on Lasix, but that's why they have it. And I think, you know, when you're talking about allergies and humidity, these are things that contribute to that. The last thing I want to do is shut a perfectly good filly down because there's a couple of spots of blood in her throat, especially when we have the availability to treat those in a proper manner. So we are going to continue forward. She's going to race tomorrow night, I believe, in Illinois. Christine K raced poorly her first start, but a little bit sick. The track was really bad. She qualified well. She's back in to go in Grand River on Wednesday now. A healthy, trained up, schooled Christine K, but through the 8-hole. So a little concerned there. She's going to have to be driven conservatively. Probably the last time I'll sit behind Christine K for quite some time will be this Wednesday. She's going to New York shortly after that. Ready for the beach. Very disappointed with this horse so far. His attitude, his performances, very disappointing and reminiscent of Redwood again and McKinnon last year. So I know those are words that will probably make the hair stand up on the back of some people in the groups. But Ready for the Beach has got a lot to do, or he may find himself in jeopardy in the barn in his employment moving forward. So Ready for the Beach, disappointing so far, but lots of racing left yet. Maxwell Plum bruised his left hind leg in Ohio when he was racing last time. You'll notice he got out of gear quite a bit when he was hitting that left hind. He's got a boot there. If you hit it hard enough, you're going to put a bruise in there, and he's got a deep bruise in there. We had to scratch him the other day. We're taking care of it. Good news is there was no tears or cracks of any kind found. I'm sure he'll be fine in the near future. Number 35 to race in the stakes, the Butler did it. Here's another horse that was a little sickly. I got a message from Paul Kelly, who's the trainer of the horse now. First week, he was supposed to be in the stake races. Hey, Anthony, the horse trained, had him scoped after. He was full of mucus. Not going to be able to race him this Friday. That happens. Next stake race comes up. Trained him again. Still sick. So he said, what do you think? I said, well, are you treating him with holy water or antibiotics? He said, well, the antibiotics, the ones I'm on, aren't working. So nothing they can do. So they put him on different antibiotics, and he missed his second race. So it's turning into a bit of a fiasco, but hopefully it'll all work out. Last thing we can do is race a horse sick. You don't want to do that. We're not going to jeopardize the rest of the Butler Didit's career just to get him to the track in a timely fashion. So the Butler Didit's down with Paul Kelly. I expect that he'll be ready to go and racing this week. I'll send him a message tonight and look for an update from him. Now, those are the 35 horses that we had that have raced in either placed in stake races or won stake races, or at least raced in stake races. 35 and 53 have gone behind the gate in some sort of stake capacity. Now we're going to talk about the horses that are close to being ready to go. So back in just a second with horses that I believe are going to be very, very close to being ready. Well, actually, some of them. Better Call Mike's not going to be ready for about 5 weeks if he's ready to go. If he gets a green light all the way down, be at least 5-6 weeks. RV LeBron is on his way back this week, so he's another horse that'll be 3-4 weeks. So I'll be back in just a second. We'll run through a list of horses that are close and should be racing anytime soon. So we're back now with the list of horses that are close to the races. Very exciting list, because on this list are at least 4 horses that I'm extremely interested to see in the near future. Not to say I'm not extremely impressed with the other ones so far, but you look at horses like Autumn Wings, Arvika, you know why we turned them out. It wasn't because they needed turned out. We were just stalling, giving them some time. Just a Tad, going to be ready soon. Another horse. Then you look at King of the Ball. King of the Ball was one of our top recruits and then fell by the wayside. We turned him out to let him mature. I haven't had any bad reports or good reports of him yet, but I'll go with the fact that we didn't have any bad reports as being a good thing. I'll be talking to Ricky about him today and see where we stand with him, but by all accounts, previously to this week, seems like he's going in the right direction. Captain Miraculous, another horse, qualified the other day, a little sick, a little flat. Got to make some shoeing adjustments with him. He's there. You know, unfortunately not yet. He's not a stake colt yet, but he's a racehorse. He's going to be a racehorse very soon. So Captain Miraculous, a horse that I'm watching really, really closely also. Then we have Better Call Mike. Better Call Mike had just come back off a 3-month layoff, and he will be ready to go probably about 5-6 weeks. And RV LeBron, same type of thing, less time frame. He just come back. He's coming back actually. When's he coming back? Tuesday. He's coming back soon, and we will have him back on the straight and narrow also. So we're looking at 7 horses right here between Just a Tad, who I can't wait to see. I'm super excited to see what this horse is going to do. Obviously, Autumn Wings and our Vicar are both training down. Everybody's biting their nails, waiting to know when these horses are ready. They'll be ready in a couple of weeks also. Then you have King of the Ball, same type of time frame, 2 to 3 week schedule. Move down, you have Captain Miraculous, who's ready to go right now. So I guess he's close. He's here now, but he's close. He's ready to go to the races anytime soon. Probably going to tinker with him for another week or so, see if we can't get his shoeing just perfect so that he has a big mile his first time out. Then we have Better Call Mike and LeBron, both on similar schedules. They were off for some time. Going to take our time with them, getting them ready. They'll be ready at some point in the next little while. So those are the horses that are close to being ready to go. Be right back in just a second with the turnouts, where they're at, what they're doing, when we expect them back. Be right back. So we do have 5, 8, 9, 10. Well, we have like 12 horses turned out. We have a couple of 3-year-olds turned out too. We'll talk about them because they're our horses, so no problems there. Stonebridge Loyal, we turned her out obviously because she had a few little lines that were in her knee. They're prevalent. You see them all the time with 2-year-olds. But with her, we saw just a tiny slide from her being mildly comfortable on jogging and training days to a little uncomfortable. And Harry had said, you know, we better get her looked at. We got her x-rayed. Sure enough, yeah, there's a couple little lines there. Lots of horses will race with them, but she's telling us she cannot race with them right now. So we opted to turn her out, you know, finished second in her first life, won her qualifier, then her first lifetime start. She's flying on the end of it, came from 7th at the quarter pole to finish second at 59. You can't ask for anything more from a young horse. Very, very happy with her. So obviously we were perfectly fine with turning her out. Dancing on My Own, filly was just too big and too growthy. So we stopped with her and gave her some time off and allow her some time to grow also in the field. You know, we have to do what's right by the horses. And if they're not comfortable, you have to... Don't make your decisions on whether we get rid of them or keep them based on comfort levels that aren't fair to the horse. She's a big, giant filly, and she was, you know, struggling a little bit. She had schooled at 59, schooled in 2 minutes, qualified in 2.3, but they were going none up front. It wasn't her fault. She looked okay, just not ready to go. Just not ready to go. Next is Be My Delight, another filly. Knees were bothering her, but she had that odd injury where that hip flexor. She got cast one day, came in, the bucket was ripped off the wall, and the stall was all ripped apart. You know, she had a few little rub marks on her behind. She got cast and tweaked her hip, as you would say. So for us, I trained her in 2 minutes. You know, she was a little uncomfortable with it. She jogged out of it, but it was sore afterwards, so we're hurting her. No. So... Does it? Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, it did. Yeah. Okay, honey, you're right. So, so Be My Delight's another filly. We just did what was right by her and gave her time off. Cash In On Me and Boldness, both in the same boat. We're struggling training past 220. Both very well-bred horses. Every intention of giving them an opportunity to show us, hey, can't do it, or absolutely I can. And to do that, we have to turn them out and give them some time to mature. So they're both still out in the field. They're going to remain in the field for another probably 2-3 weeks for Boldness, and maybe a little longer for Cash In On Me. Tomorrow's headline, another colt, big, strong, growthy colt, qualified 59 last quarter, like 27 or something. Looked okay, but he's got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of heavy lifting in those grassroots and gold divisions. And as I said to Randy Zane, the owner, I said, you know, if you can't win when we put him in, why are we racing him? And he said, yeah, you're right, turn him out. You know, for me, there's nothing stopping him from turning into being a good horse. It's just not going to be right this second. So we just turned him out to let him grow. Stolen Dance, obviously, we turned her out. Ivanka and Quartz, same thing. They're just okay horses right now. trying to let them mature into horses that we want them to be, that we bought them to be, that we need them to be. If they're not, they're not, but we still have to do right by them, and first things first, turn them out and let them grow and mature. Now we'll move on to 3 3-year-olds that are turned out. I touched on one of them earlier in American League. We turned him out because I just simply believe there's more earning potential there that we haven't seen yet. So,
look, it says "Oh Canada."
no, that's Canadian Tire, buddy. We're going to the en route. So American League got a reprieve. He's going back out to the field. I wouldn't say a well-deserved rest, but he worked good all year and he's tired. He needs a rest, and we're going to give him one. Dewey Ann's a filly. A filly that I've talked about extensively over the past year and a half. She's well-bred. She's a nice filly. She wants to do her work. She's got a lifetime mark. She got a trip to the winner's circle in the winter in 2.6 in London in a snowstorm. Raced really well. So we tried to train her back. She was still uncomfortable. We turned her out again. There's a couple of bridges we can cross. Either Dewey Ann turns into being a racehorse when we bring her back, or we could potentially breed her. Very, very well-bred filly. Now, she does have some physical weaknesses, if you will, but I'm sure lots of mares do. She's very well-bred, beautiful filly. I'll tell you what she's got is an unbelievable amount of desire to compete, and that you can't breed into them. So, for me, Dewey Ann's probably safe for quite a while with us in one way or another, in one capacity or another. And last and not least, Fan the Flames. A lot of people are disappointed with Fan the Flames. I'm not. He's a June foal. He's big. Another horse got a lot of earning potential ahead of him. Just too big. So he made money. He trotted in 57 this year. He did okay. Now we're going to turn him out. Turn him out and let him be a nice horse. It's exactly what we did. So Freddie, as he's called, Fan the Flames, is out in the field for a while. Anyway, that is everything. That's everybody. That's all the horses. Now, I didn't touch on Lawmaker very much, or Cruising in Style, or the 3-year-olds that we're racing, because we try to stay in touch with our clients in regards to those horses. And if you feel that you're not getting enough updates on them, you'd want more, you need more, simply pick the phone up, send me an email, say, hey, Anthony, what's going on with the horse? Please don't feel shy or concerned. Say, oh, I know you're busy. Everybody always starts out all their emails to me in the same way. I know you're busy, but there's no but. And I'm not that busy. I'm never too busy to talk to you guys. I appreciate everything you've done for us. We just ran down 35 stakes placed, raced, or victors that we have in our barn, or had in our barn. 35 stake horses. You know, I'm never too busy for you guys. If it wasn't for you, none of this would happen. And it's not just the stable. It's not just Anthony and McDonald. What you're doing is showing the industry that this is possible. What we said is possible is a reality, and it's happening every day. So for me, for Amy, for Ollie, say hi. Say, it's Ollie's birthday. Happy birthday, buddy. Oh, where are you going? You going in to use the bathroom?
What?
You're going inside to use the bathroom? Yeah? Don't break it. Just wiggle your foot in it. From all of us, McDonald family, TheStable.ca, and for racing in general, thank you very, very much. And we'll be seeing you this week. Next week's going to be just as busy as this week. We got New Jersey with White Tiger on Friday. Saturday morning, I'm going to qualify Lawmaker at the Meadowlands. Saturday night, we're going to race horses in the Ohio Breeders, the Ohio State Fair Stakes. Sunday, I got to fly back. Georgian Downs on Sunday night. Sunday night, I got Georgian Downs with the Trotting Colts. Friday night, I won't be here, but the Trotting Fillies will be racing in the Gold. It's going to be never ending for the next little while for us, and then New Zealand, and right back at it with the sales. So this is over the next, at some point in the next 3 weeks, you're going to be getting emails from me wondering who is interested in. We talked about this earlier. Who's interested in becoming partners with us? Who's interested in buying horses with TheStable.ca this fall, and what that will entail, and what your comfort level is, so we can get a modest look at what we have heading to the sales. Because as you can imagine, it's a little stressful for me sometimes, but it's part of the job. It's my part of the job. So thank you all again. We'll catch up next week with our videos. you should be getting this Monday morning. Hope to hear from you all throughout the week. It's been a great ride. We're going to try and keep it going here at TheStable.ca.